Мое почтение, дамы и господа, мы продолжаем. Я записываю подряд вторую серию, поэтому ваши комментарии я еще не читал, и мы будем двигаться примерно в том же формате, в котором двигались в прошлой серии. Выйти в идеале это все должно через одну, то есть вы посмотрели первую серию, потом вышли корабли, и, собственно, вот это вот третья серия. Блин, я не сильно хочу эту штуку бить руками. Десять выстрелов. А из них ничего не падает, да? 10 выстрелов в никудашеньки просто. Просто в никудашеньки. Так. Карты. Проверяем функцию стелса. Нам, по-моему, сюда. Здесь мы уже все осмотрели. Здесь как будто кто-то сейчас что-то выломает и выскочит. Да, патронами пользоваться, конечно, здесь очень хочется, но не очень выгодно. Так, потихонечку, без палева. Что такое комплект? Я не знаю, что такое комплект. Он, видимо, сразу автоматом подбирает то, что... Подставляет то, что нужно подставить. Так, какие-то ритуальные приколы здесь у них. На втором этаже хрень. Хрень на втором этаже мне вообще не нравится. Она меня видит, она меня слышит или что, или как? Напиток, хорошо. Нам что нужно сделать? Коктейльчиком? Блин, коктейльчик был прям хорош. Что у нас здесь? Патроны. Короче, по возможности мы не тратим пули. Получится в бубен ему засветить, нет? Нет. Хорошо. Стелс здесь, значит, так, это тот же коктейльчик. Их там несколько, я слышу. Стелс здесь, значит, сильно не работает. Вот как мне идти с зажатой Q и поворачивать еще? Ну вот и все, и здравствуйте, и приветики. Это что это такое? Заряди, пожалуйста. Так, хорошо. Почему нельзя с собой кирпичик взять? Я же не так много прошу, всего лишь кирпичик. Это туда странно все. Опа, опа. Блин, не опа. 3, 4, 5. Что ты? Пока не хилимся. Экономим все. Что это? Какие-то палочки. Джуджу. Будьте здоровы. Если что, мы отходим сюда и берем вот эту штуку для кидания. Ну, патронов вроде не хватает, но вроде как и хватает. Как-то это все вот... Сейчас что-то будет. Блин, тут же боссы должны быть. Вот боссы это вообще пипец.
This must be Miss Jackson's place. Let's see if we can find out more about Jeremy's talisman.
Я сейчас найдем, мать, ты чё? Сейчас все найдем. Я видел на столе штучку, я сейчас периметр осмотрю сначала. Опа. Кусок талисмана, судя по всему.
It looks exactly like Jeremy's talisman.
Талисман открыть. Старинный талисман, выточенный веками. Гравировки цифр, судя по всему, не более 100 лет, но основа вполне может восходить к античности. Черный солнечный камень в центре отполирован до блеска, и порой создается впечатление, что внутри него скрыто изображение. Там что-то 1, 2, 3, 4, ля-ля-ля, жу-жу-жу. Используйте талисман, чтобы вернуться в Дерсето. Дерсето, если что, это вот петушиная лечебница, или как ее там называют. Не петушиная, а обычная. Что? Ну есть же у тебя связка ключей. Нет? Ты категорически против подобных?
I think it's meant to hold the talisman.
Так, и теперь что-то кого-то нужно куда-то вращать.
I'm not sure what numbers I should use. Maybe there's something in Jeremy's notes.
Ага. Сейчас. Как это? Сменить диск. Я ничего не понял, подожди. Нет. Так. Назад. Записки. Схема талисмана. Чего? Если верить Штерну, чтобы перебросить мост между грезами и памятью, нужны 3 цифры. Не там, где я хочу быть, но хоть что-то для начала. 358. 358. Ага. 8. Судя по всему, 300. Как будто не так это работает. Подожди. Наверное, вот так. Но здесь должна быть тогда тройка. 300. Я не понимаю, что я сейчас делаю. Подожди. Тут нет пятерки. Попам. Талисман. Дневники. Схема талисмана. Еще раз. 358. 1. Ну, на самом маленьком 3. На самом большом 5. На самом низком 8. Правильно? Нет. То ли я дурак, то ли вы же не едут. Подожди, а если мы, выйдя, фонарик выключим? Нет, здесь все равно будет отблеск. Так же? Нет? Триста. 1, 2, 3, 4. Типа 5. И...
What's that picture in the glass? Where is that?
Какая-то комнатуха, которую нам теперь нужно найти.
Good to see you again, Miss Hartwood. Mrs. Thompson told me you were here. She also alerted me that you brought a detective with you. I'm very curious to hear what this is all about. You don't remember me, do you, Miss Hartwood? We met at your family's house in the Garden District, when your uncle was about to be admitted under my care.
No, I remember. Sorry. I'm not really feeling well.
Oh, well, in that case, have a seat. Let me make you a drink. I don't seem to have made much of an impression on you. On the other hand, I can vividly recall you and your parents.
Because of our cheerful disposition, I'm sure.
You are far too intelligent to think that. You come from a joyless family, Miss Hartwood. The only amusement I took from my visit was discovering that the young lady's drink was an old-fashioned.
Very astute. Is that supposed to make you seem attentive or intelligent?
Whatever you prefer. Are you ready to tell me why you are here, Miss Hartwood? And why you brought a detective?
I received a letter from my uncle. He seemed certain that he was in danger here. If I find out you're treating him badly, I'll be taking him back with me to New Orleans.
Really? Is he going to live with you in your tiny garçonniere? That would be a spectacular way to ratify your spinsterhood. Because you are well aware that your father would never let him back in his house. No, I have it. Maybe you can bring him back up north. You've been wanting to move back for quite a few years, haven't you? You always preferred your mother's side of the family. Jeremy is free to leave with you. I won't object. However, there is one problem, as you might have learned. He is, in fact, missing.
Do you know where he could have gone?
No, I'm afraid I don't. I have my staff looking for him. I'm sure he will show up eventually. Especially if he learns that you are here. He is quite fond of you.
What can you tell me about his condition? I never heard a proper diagnosis. What is your medical opinion of him?
Well, let me think. He is an anxious man, depressed, even. He suffers from a perceived lack of order in his inner and outer life. He constantly complains about events not presenting themselves according to their divine nature.
And the Dark Man?
Hard to tell if it was ever anything specific. Jeremy uses the Dark Man as a psychological scapegoat to avoid facing the truth that he is in any way at fault.
You don't think there can be any truth to the Dark Man's supernatural existence?
Why would you ask that?
Can we ever be sure?
If the Dark Man is some sort of evil presence that is in possession of Jeremy?
Well,
I assure you, any evidence that you experience supporting that claim is purely delusional. Don't get caught up in mass hysteria, Miss Hartwood. You wouldn't want to take your uncle's place in this hospital, would you?
I'll be leaving now, Doctor. I need to keep looking for my uncle.
Do so, Miss Hartwood. I'll let you know if he shows up.
Глава 2. Очень подозрительный этот тип, доктор. И я думаю, что рано или поздно он захочет нас закрыть в этой лечебнице. И детектива тоже.
Detective Carnby! God, I'm glad to see you. I was afraid you had left.
Me? You're the one who just disappeared.
It's hard to explain. I think I blacked out. It was like I went somewhere else.
It's okay, miss. You're clearly upset.
No, I don't know what's happening.
This is a very stressful situation for you, I understand.
Ugh, no, you don't understand.
Just take a deep breath. Why don't you sit down, smoke some of the perique? If you want, I could even drive you back to New Orleans. I just want to have a talk with Dr. Gray first.
I want to stay. I found a talisman just like the one in the painting. I think I might be able to figure out where Tarawea is, where Jeremy wanted to go.
That's great. Just stay out of trouble, okay? Let me handle the investigation.
I'm not crazy, Detective. Not yet.
Okay, catch you later.
Вот я не понимаю до сих пор. Найдите астрономические часы, которые упоминались в блокноте.
Then maybe Jeremy is hiding in some strange other world, like Tarawea, the place he mentioned in the book. No matter where he is, it's clear that my search won't be limited to Dерсето.
Что я говорил? А неважно. Записули. Разбитые пластины.
Paul, you're right about the plates on the boiler and the clock. They have been sabotaged, and I think I know who did it. They have something to do with Jeremy's episodes and how he seems to disappear at night. Right now, it's important that you keep an eye out for any of the pieces. I want to find out if I can repair the plates. Let me know if you find any of them. Lottie.
Tell Lottie to take a look at the well in the kitchen garden.
Так, у нас колодец, у нас часы, у нас то, у нас это, у нас куча всего. У нас еще котел.
Dr. Elmore Lee Gray is Derseto's chief doctor. Accounting and all administrative...
Это можно не слушать, не читать. Там просто список. Ключи от комнаты номер 6. Хорошо. Починка котла.
Saw your notice in the boiler room. You should know Mr. Chance won't be coming back. I got no business being in there myself, but you can take a valve from the wine cellar if you want to try to stop the steam pouring out. Be careful.
Хорошо. Тут подсказки в виде записок. Мне это нравится. Тест Роршаха. Ага, это презент. Досье пациентов.
Cassandra Beauregard, the beloved author. Very exciting, isn't it? What do you want to put down for reason for admission?
What her agent told us. Cassandra suffers from writer's block and needs to finish her moving picture script before the end of June. Mr. Chardot suggests Cassandra's heavy use of barbiturates is holding her back and risks ruining her career.
And how should we summarize her personal history?
Let's keep it short. Cassandra Beauregard is a beloved crime author who managed to pull herself out of poverty and into stardom. 5 years ago, she tried killing herself by jumping off a balcony. The incident left her a cripple and now relies heavily on her wheelchair.
And for diagnostic impressions?
Cassandra suffers chronic back pain following her suicide attempt. She self-administers morphine to keep herself ambulant, but has become addicted and the desired effect is now lost. The drug abuse clouds her mind, and she is unable to focus on real life. To save herself from this insight, she instead makes up stories to fill out the gaps in her own thought process, resembling the Korsakoff syndrome.
Oh, bravo, Doctor. How will you treat her?
First of all, she needs to be weaned from her drug addiction, and hopefully it will resolve her compulsive lying. Then look into permanently numbing her pain in her back through surgery. Finally, deal with her suicidal thoughts.
Fantastic. With such a short time before June, I really hope she gets better soon.
We will do what we can.
Grace Saunders, 11 years old. Reason for admission?
The mother insists on strict supervision by a proper gentleman to avoid further perversion of Grace's adolescence.
Personal history?
Grace's family possesses modest wealth and status. Her childhood seems ordinary, spending most of her time with private teachers and family friends. Grace's father recently passed away, leaving her mother the sole caregiver.
And diagnostic impressions?
Grace has trouble dealing with her father's death. She is willingly suppressing her feelings on the matter and isn't properly acknowledging the trauma she suffered.
Any planned treatment?
Grace needs nothing out of the ordinary. She simply needs parental guidance. Eventually, we can work on her feelings toward her father.
Thank you, Doctor. I'll finish the paperwork and get her installed. Malcolm McCarthy, 54 years of age. Reason for admission?
McCarthy admitted himself to Derseto, stating simply that he needs some damn rest.
And personal history?
McCarthy claims he used to work as a lawyer in Baton Rouge, but says he can't go into details because of some legal dispute. His background remains largely a mystery, except for the occasional clue that he drops in conversation.
Huh. And diagnostic impressions?
McCarthy is an anxious man and an alcoholic. He often tells half-truths due to some deep-seated inability to trust other people.
And how will you treat that?
McCarthy will take some time to open up. Spending time with Jack's dog or the child should be good for him. Their harmless nature will help build his sense of trust.
Thank you, Doctor. Elisabetta Perosi, 33 years old? What should I put down as reason for admission?
Well, Perosi broke into Derseto and was found wandering the grand parlor. She was confused and suffered partial amnesia. She insisted she belonged here and offered to pay for her stay.
Right. What do you make of her story?
Perosi claims to have been a member of the Astarte artist colony some 20 years ago. A claim that seems contrafactual due to her young age. She looks to be and even thinks she is 33 years of age. That would make her a child at the time. It seems fair to say that Perosi's story is untrue, deliberately so or not.
Diagnostic impressions? Do you have anything?
Perosi's story is peculiar, because she retracted her story about the artist colony. She no longer claims to be the same person as Elisabetta Perosi. However, my staff's research has confirmed there was a Perosi at that time who was in her early 30s.
I suppose this case will take some time to investigate. How will you go about it?
I wanted to contact the real Perosi, but it seems the whole colony disappeared one night. September 29th, 1915, during a hurricane. I will have to take it slow and figure out what this spell of impersonation could have been.
Oh, I'm sure it will all clear up eventually. Thank you, Doctor. Ruth Talon, 29 years of age. Reason for admission?
Ruth's father wishes that his daughter be removed from New Orleans nightlife for the foreseeable future. He fears that her overly free spirit is tarnishing the family's reputation.
Sounds simple enough. Personal history?
Ruth comes from considerable wealth. Her family owns several hotels and restaurants. Unlike the rest of the family, her sense of adventure has taken her around the world, including France during the Great War as a photojournalist. The last decade, she has provoked many rumors of being a debauched flapper, bordering on nymphomania.
And diagnostic impressions?
Despite her father's frivolous reasons for her to be admitted, Ruth does seem to provide an interesting case. She is refreshingly open and doesn't shy away from talking about her life during the war or her continuous celebration after returning to the States. She is admittedly a sexual deviant and feels no remorse.
And her treatment plan?
Simply staying at Derseto should do wonders for Ruth. If not, at least for her family's reputation. Ruth doesn't need to change, but with therapy I might be able to share with her some sympathy towards her family. I doubt she will settle down and become as dull as the rest of them, but at least she might try to be more discreet in the future.
Interesting. It's all the patient files except for Jeremy's. Looks sturdy. Doubt I'll be opening this.
Так, тут нам нужны циферки. Можно, конечно, попробовать. Но не стоит. Мы ходим по лечебнице с пистолетом. Я думаю, как? Вот, что мне приходит в голову. Доктор, у него тут свой культ.
I need the key.
У него свой культ, и он лечит, пытается лечить пациентов с помощью вот этих вот других миров, возможно. И вот как-то так. Так, а нам куда? Мы где? Мы вообще в приемной. Кабинет администратора, там какая-то головоломка. Ага, это сейф. Офис доктора. Тут мы все обошли, теперь нам нужно фойе у лестницы. Собственно, вперед. Я начинаю потихонечку... Так, это запертая дверь. Это заблокированная дверь. Это выход-вход, получается, его...
I can't leave. I need to find Jeremy.
Да-да-да, мне очень нравится, что ты реагируешь на то, что я иду к одной двери. Вот, и он лечит, я так думаю, вот этих всех пациентов. Это что у нас? Это куда у нас? Это запертая дверь, а там площадь. На второй этаж мы сейчас еще пойдем здесь.
I need the key.
То есть, если она говорит, мне нужен ключ, то у меня нет нужного. Правильно? Хорошо. Здесь у нас комната дяди. Собственно, вот они часы. Вот они часы.
I need the key.
Хорошо, тебе нужен ключ.
What's that stain? Looks like some kind of rot. This must be the clock mentioned in the commonplace book. This looks like the thing that held the talisman in the French Quarter, but it's broken and missing some pieces.
Здесь нам нужно 2 куска еще талисмана. Хорошо. Это комната. Это не комната. Это коридор, и здесь у нас... комнаты. Пошли по порядку. Это закрыто. Это открыто. Это комната дяди.
Jeremy's room. All back to normal.
Эмили здесь.
Emily's here.
Собственно,
Emily's here.
он нас нарисовал. Он нас нарисовал. Значит, он где-то в другом каком-то временном пространственном отрезке знает, что мы здесь. Пустая коробочка. О. Так. Очень много пустых коробочек. Мы будем осматривать по возможности вообще все, ребят. Сразу говорю. Тут какой-то боксер у нас живет. Груша, перчатки. Бурбон стоит. Детка. А, чернильная ручка. Хорошо. Чернильная ручка нафиг не нужна. Дальше. Зачем столько пустых сундуков? Ага, комната номер 6. Сюда. Но сначала здесь что у нас? даже... Ага, здесь закрыто. Все, у нас только один вход на комнату номер 6, которая без номера.
What a strange but beautiful room.
Кодовый замок
Are these zodiac signs?
со знаками зодиака. А, я когда нажимаю выход на правую кнопку мыши, она почему-то сразу достает пистолет.
Will I need to remember how to get them out again? They are locked up for good reason. I am sure she is still able to whisper the answer in the ears of the wrong people. But not for long. I will see her burned soon enough. That black goat will be sacrificed to put an end to it all. Then it will all be over. No more Derseto, and sadly, no Astarte. Those good pirates of Pontchartrain. May you still sail the lake, until you find the shores of Hali.
У нас здесь помечены 1, 11, 10. Это Водолей, Стрелец и Скорпион. Водолей, Стрелец, Скорпион.
The Astarte artist colony. I'm pretty sure they had a Mardi Gras crew called the Pirates of Pontchartrain when I was a child.
Куча картинок. Сейчас мы к ним вернемся. Открыть.
Did it! I crossed the thresholds to my intended destination without a focusing device. My talisman now knows these roads, and I have no need for the plates. I can find my way to Lafayette as easy as I find my own room. I visited the grave of my father and seen the oven waiting for me. Thank you for opening these doors. I now must summon my courage and go back to that hateful mound outside the oil rig. I hope you'll be feeling better when I return. Jeremy.
Джереми путешествует с помощью этого компаса. Че там, Водолей? Это же Водолей. Стрелец. Еще бы я в них разбирался. Подожди. Или это от этого? От другого? Сейчас разберемся. Здесь что у нас? По порядку пошли.
There's some aggressive looking rot on these paintings.
Надо сделать типа все черными. Не-не-не, верни. А это что? А, это белое? Или так и должно быть? Подожди. Что за звуки? А, ну и все, и пропали они. Мы сейчас выходим, и там вообще другая реальность, да? Нет, смотри-ка. Ну, здесь у нас загадка с этими водолеями. Здесь комната Джереми. Нет. Здесь... Что здесь? А, здесь комната боксера. Комната Джереми. Это выход на большой зал, он закрыт. Здесь часы нас сохранили. Здесь закрыто, нужен ключ. Это комплект. А где посмотреть? Ага, вот цели.
They easily turned into numbers when needed, but also acted as signatures for the members, as there were only 12 of them.
Угу, то есть замок все-таки нам надо сейчас открыть. Давай откроем. Я не совсем понял вот этот прикол с картинами, зачем мы их сделали. У нас сохранили еще раз. Там мы все сделали. Тут картины все больше не работают. Здесь... Почему цифры 2? Ага, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Я их линией пытался провести. Давай еще раз записание. Записание 1, 11, 10. Или нет? Их всего 9. Значит, нет. 1, 11, 10. Нужна еще раз записка. Надо будет запомнить, как их вытаскивать. Они под замком не просто так. Я уверен, что она по-прежнему может прошептать ответ в уши не тех людей, но это ненадолго. Скоро я увижу, как она горит. Черная коза будет принесена в жертву, чтобы покончить с этим. И все закончится. Больше не будет Дерсета и, к сожалению, Астарты. Славные пираты Поншарт Рена доплывут они по озеру, пока не узрят берега Халли. Вода. Стрелец. И Скорпион. Но здесь нет всех. То есть тут нет воды. Кто из них Скорпион? Вот. Или это может быть замок от первого этажа, где... Точнее, шифр от первого... От сундука на первом этаже. Пошли туда посмотрим, побегаем. Начались загадоньки. Начался тупняк. Нам в любом случае вниз нужно. У нас там и оранжерея, и то, и это, и пятое, и десятое. По-моему, нам сюда. 1, 11, 10 там было. Это 7, 3. 1. 11. 10. Нет. Хорошо, про загадку мы подумаем попозже. Здесь у нас доктор. Нет. Тогда пошли в садик. Так, эта дверь куда? Понял тебя. Ага. Ключ, чтобы бежать. Мы же здесь... Ага, там можно лестницу поставить, да, чтобы кругами не ходить потом. И мы в этой части дома, а здесь у нас... Тут мы были. У нас же ключи появились. Мы можем теперь еще куда-то щемануться, куда нам не стоит щематься. Так, отсюда мы пришли, значит нам сюда. Курение вредит вашему здоровью.
Good evening, Miss Hartwood. That is your name, isn't it? I would be terribly embarrassed if it wasn't.
You're right. Emily Hartwood, Jeremy's niece. Nice to meet you.
Ruth Talon. Is that Perique you're smoking? How terribly quaint.
Maybe so, but I like it.
Would you care to share some? That smell is making me feel very nostalgic.
Is it all that you hope for?
I enjoy your light mockery, Miss Hartwood. I can tell we would make great friends.
How flattering. Too bad you're locked up in this place.
Your insincerity is really refreshing. I wish you were mad as I am, then you could stay.
Give it a few years and I might just be. Lunacy is one of my family's few privileges.
Oh, good. I'll be looking forward to it.
You don't know anything about what happened to Jeremy, do you?
Everyone here is really strange, and it's hard to know what to make of anything you hear. Occasionally, it sounds quite exciting, though. Good versus evil and all that. I'm sorry, but I don't think I have anything useful to share.
It doesn't matter. Thank you for the much-needed break.
Bon voyage.
Я заранее напоминаю тем, кто забывает ставить лайки, что нужно ставить лайки.
Lost Plantations of Louisiana, Thierry Briclot, 1917. Dersето was a small plantation on the eastern shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The land was considered difficult for industry and was sold for only $30 to Elijah Pickford in 1818. Pickford employed hundreds of workers from nearby New Orleans to clear the woods and build a small plantation mansion facing the lake with a striking Greek Revival temple facade. Dersето kept a modest production of Perique tobacco and indigo that persisted up till the Civil War. During the antebellum era, Dersето was the source of many rumors concerning voodoo and witchcraft. People who traveled the lake reported seeing people dance at night in front of bonfires, bleating and wailing. On June 17, 1862, Captain J.W. Norton of the Union Army recounts leading a raiding party from ships anchored in Lake Pontchartrain in order to seize control of Dersето and free the slaves working there. The captain was surprised to find the workers fighting back with unprecedented zeal. Norton's account describes these men and women as enraged with fanaticism. Pickford reportedly tried to placate the raiders, but was shot in the confusion. Captain Norton left the mansion burning and retreated to his ships with his men. Derseto was left in ruins for several decades. The ownership of the land was long disputed and returned to the Ledoux family in 1901. Several police reports were filed during the following years as the Ledoux tried to get rid of a camp of squatters on their land. The police made several visits to remove the trespassers, but the people kept returning. On November 1st, 1907, Inspector Legrasse of the police charged a deadly attack in order to save several children kidnapped by the squatters. Many were killed, and even more were jailed. The following year, Ledoux rebuilt Derseto, incorporating the surviving stone foundation and adding a magnificent wrought iron conservatory. The farmland had been reclaimed by the surrounding woods, so it was no longer profitable to use as a plantation. Instead, the house was turned into an artist's colony. The Astarte Artist Colony was a successful group of artists, including figures such as painter Heinrich Cassel and poet Nora Keith. The group was also known for their beloved Mardi Gras crew, called the Pirates of Pontchartrain. On September 29, 1915, a tropical hurricane tore through Louisiana, causing Lake Pontchartrain to flood New Orleans. Due to the remote location of Derseto, it took almost 2 weeks for outsiders to learn that the artist's colony was abandoned. The 12 residing artists had all vanished without a trace. The empty mansion of Derseto still stands on the shore of Lake Pontchartrain, with much of its temple facade intact. The Ledoux family currently has no intention of repairing the house.
Что-нибудь еще здесь есть у нас интересное? Можем пройти эту комнату насквозь, но можем поговорить еще с ней. Давайте поговорим.
Are you reading anything good?
A Brightness from Afar by Lord Boleskine. It's actually not bad.
You know where Detective Carnby is?
Oh, you don't need him. You're doing fine.
I should probably go.
Until next time, chérie.
Ну, давайте на этом заканчивать, ребят. Ставьте лайки, как я уже сказал. Дальше делайте, что хотите. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Всем пока.